Welcome to the Silent Revolution, where the people aren't silent anymore. Dreamcast TV.
Here are some rare collectibles that were issued with many different 1920s and 1910s products at the beginning of cinema itself and the age of the celebrity that we are so familiar with today. Silent movies are now popular once again, as two current multi-award winning films pay homage to the birth of cinema in two completely different ways. Martin Scorsese's movie, Hugo, tells the tale in the most futuristic way possible, in 3D. But film director Michel Hazanavicius daringly opted for an actual silent movie, The Artist, and is currently the bookies' favourite to win an Oscar for Best Picture this year. I've seen the film and thoroughly enjoyed it. You should check it out too, cinema. Anyway, Hazanavicius' movie story takes place in Hollywood between 1927 and 1932 and focuses on a declining male film star and a rising actress as silent cinema grows out of fashion and is replaced by the talkies. This instantly reminds me of the romance between the real silent movie stars Greta Garbo and John Gilbert, which also coincidentally started in 1927. John Gilbert was a great silent movie star whose career nosedived with the advent of the talkies, whilst Garbo's flourished with the new medium. Some say that Gilbert had a high-pitched voice that didn't fit in with his macho, heartthrob image, whilst others suggest it was more to do with studio politics. Anyway, numerous movie stars from the era saw their careers vanish very quickly. Remember, many of the stars were foreign immigrants whose accents would have been difficult to understand, or perhaps, like Gilbert, they had voices which were not consistent with the roles that they were known for. Here is Al Jolson, the man who instantly popularised the talkies in his debut movie, The Jazz Singer, in which he famously said, "You ain't heard nothing." And I doubt if many had, since it was the first talkie that went mainstream. Wanda Hawley was a silent era veteran who fell victim to the sound curse. She reportedly became a call girl in the late 1930s due to falling on hard times. The legendary silent movie star Louise Brooks admitted to resorting to prostitution to paying the bills as her career faded away. The phone hacking scandals of recent times have shown us how corrupt and ruthless news media corporations are. Well, the 1920s gave birth to this tabloid and sensationalistic journalism that we know and love today. The media both elevated and destroyed the careers of many a 1920s movie star. They didn't care whether the stories were true or not, just as long as they sold lots of newspapers. Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was one of the most famous movie stars of the 1910s. He mentored none other than Charlie Chaplin. Arbuckle was accused of murdering a young starlet. Despite being acquitted, he was hounded by the press, and his once glorious career was destroyed forever. Mabel Normand, who worked with Fatty Arbuckle coincidentally, also suffered a similar fate at the hands of the bloodthirsty press. She was linked to two widely publicised scandals in the early 1920s. She was not considered a suspect in either case, but that didn't stop the press from wild speculation which may have ruined her career. As with many celebrities today, she suffered from drug abuse. Alma Rubens starred in a cocaine film comedy, The Mystery of the Leaping Fish. The film didn't appear to cause much of a stir despite its light-hearted attitude towards the use of narcotics, but Alma's promising career came to an abrupt end due to her own cocaine addiction a few years later. How many of us know who the first ever movie star was? Well, here she is, Florence Lawrence, on one of the first ever movie star cigarette cards in the world. She is considered to be the first ever movie star. Cinema had been invented in the late 19th century, but the movie studios have been reluctant to credit their actors for fear that they would demand higher wages. The Imp Studios were in need of experienced actors and lured Lawrence away from her current employer, Biograph Studios, with the proviso that she would be promoted in her own right, giving birth to the first movie star in the world, way back in 1910. Despite the fact that she played an important role in popularising early cinema, she was buried in an unmarked grave. Another great tragedy of the silent era is the fact that nearly 80% of all original silent movies don't exist anymore, and the few that do are in mostly poor condition. Movies in those days were stored on nitrocellulose, which was only supposed to last for 20 years, while many of the 90 and 100-year-old movie reels must be well past their sell-by date by now. Also, nitrocellulose is highly flammable and causes many fires. That's why cards like these are so important. Nearly all of Theda Bara's legendary films were destroyed in a fire in New Jersey in 1937. Only a few of her 40 movies remain. She is considered to be the original vamp or femme fatale, and her provocative clothing has earned her the title by many as the first ever sex symbol. If you're interested in this silent era, you might want to check out the biggest collection of videos of rare silent movie collectibles online on my channel. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to find out more about this particular item or other such items, please feel free to pop by my website at creamofcards.com.
Oh no! I'm afraid we've run out of time. But just before you go, please leave thumbs up below. And if you'd like to see more amazing video clips like this, subscribe to the channel
by clicking on the icon up in the sky.
A Cream of Cards TV.